Hello, it's me, Annalisa. How are you? Hi, Kathy. Hi, Angelique. I got your payment. Who's here? Say hello. Good morning. Is everybody doing well? If you celebrated Christmas, did you have a good Christmas or Hanukkah? Or there's another festival of lights, I'm sure. What is that? Kwanzaa? Is that one? How is everyone? I had it was a nice quiet Christmas. It's my girls and my mom and I. And then yesterday we went sledding. I had a couple cool things come up with clients this week. I did a last minute reading for, she's like my most regular client. I adore her. And there's like, but she wanted to meet with me because something came up about, and it was like something I had mentioned. I was like, oh, I think that person's going to have an HR issue because it's a coworker that's, you know how those are. You're doing well. You had a lovely holiday. Wonderful. But I just thought it was cool because I was like, oh my God, I literally thought about you. Like, ignore my nails. They need to be redone. I was like, I literally thought about you because I got like, it like stopped me in my tracks where I was like, oh, like he's going to be like, this person is going to be gone. And then she was like, I have to talk to you. Good morning, Gabby. How are you? And then I had a reading yesterday with a woman who's new, and she said, this is what I think is funny too. She lives in a town near me. So I was like trying to name some names of people I thought maybe might have like recommended me. She's like, I found your name on a post-it at my house. It keeps sticking to things. It's my handwriting. I have no idea how I found it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like when I sat down to do her reading, I was a little like discombobulated, as it happens sometimes with me. Good morning, Regine. How are you? And she's like, are you sure you're good? Like for today? And I was like, oh yeah, like if I'm in this space, we're really good. if I can't stay grounded to the earth, like you're gonna have a great reading. And it was. But this is a pattern I want to say. Like I used to, when I see blocked throat chakras, it happens a lot in women. Eventually, if you don't kind of heal it, if it'll show up, if it shows up, oh, I just got something on how it shows up with men. But if it shows up in women, it'll show up as like thyroid issues. More often than not, I just got like with men, it'll show up as like throat cancer or something like that. But men don't often have a blocked throat chakra the way women do. It's different. But with her, it was not that she's not a good advocate for herself, because that's one way it shows up if you have a blocked throat chakra. And it's not that she didn't know how to say no, because she definitely did. And she knew how to communicate in general. She didn't know how to dream big and ask the universe what she wanted. So I think that's a way to look at it. If you feel like, I just feel like something's not moving in my life, maybe you're not dreaming big enough or being bold enough. All right, let's make our list because I've got several of you here today already. Yay. So I've got Gabby for one, then Misty for one, Regine for 3. All right, Gabby, give us a baby update. I messaged her on Christmas because I was thinking about her. Not because I was like, was it right? But I was just like, how are you? Angelique for 2. Also because she had messaged me and said, updated me before that. So, of course, you know me. Catherine for 2 and Nancy for 1. Your sister flies on Wednesday, so maybe she's waiting for her to get here. They caught the flu. Oh no. Bummer. Flu sucks. It's going around pretty bad right now. So Catherine for 2, Nancy for 1. So I sent the email out. Did y'all get the email where I sent it out today? I did it as like what are we letting go of in 2026? What are we embracing in 26? And what are we celebrating? I thought that was like a fun way to do the questions and draw the cards. I know it's going to be a big year for me for many reasons. But also you liked it. Okay, good. But also, I'm in Aries rising at 0 degrees Aries rising, and with Saturn and Neptune entering my first house. This is like big changes and showing up authentically and like letting go of basically all the bullshit and things that don't work for you anymore. And like there's a lot in my chart about starting communities and things like that. So I was told about an opportunity. This is someone who I am is a fellow reverend with me. She does readings too, and she's had opportunities to do different TV things and projects here and there. And she was like, I can't give all the backstory of why she was like, I have to offer it to you next time. Like, and she's somebody who is absolutely like, if she says she's going to do something, she will do it. She doesn't mince words. Like if she says something, like it's solid for her. So she talked to me about it. She was offered an opportunity for something and she said she needed somebody to read with her. I can't tell you much more about that because it's not really been officially offered to me. It's just in the ethers, if you will. But y'all are going to manifest. I'm going to come back on here and be like, I got it, but I can't tell you about it until later. So that's it. You're going to manifest for me. I'm manifesting it. But it would be a really great potential for exposure. I'll say that. Hi, Katrina. I'm so excited you guys are here today. I was like, I realized like I was having like on Christmas Day, I had a whole bunch of anxiety, but I think it was just more about like I hadn't been able to do all my, like basically I haven't been able to exercise and move as much as I had. Like our practices were canceled. And so I wasn't on the ice nearly as much. And then like normally I would have gone to the public skates, but I had conflicts like during those times. And then one time I was on the ice and then I had to pick my daughter up from school. So I had to get off the ice, like short practice. So, and then I hadn't been able to do walking and things like that because of contractors being here and then weather and blah, blah, blah. So I got out and walked and I did great. There was a point to this. My brain will find it eventually. Jesus Christ. Oh, yay, do it. Thank you, Regine. But I was saying, like, there are things that I've noticed that I really like crave and enjoy, and doing readings here is one of them. And doing, did someone call? What do you mean? Doing readings, and I was like really looking forward to today. So I'm so excited you guys are here. Like I was really like excited about doing my reading yesterday. I shoveled snow. I did it in like record time too. I shoveled my whole driveway in like 20 minutes. And then came in, did my reading. We went sledding last night. My mom is 75. She's lived in Texas. Well, she lived in Chicago, but she never did anything like snow activity wise I think she lived there for a few years, 5 years maybe. But she went sledding with us yesterday. Like she walked up the hill at one point because she was worried about dodging people at the bottom of it. So she was standing at the top of the hill, and then my third grader convinced her to go sled down with her. And she's like, but I'm not going back up. And I was like, that's fine. We'll make it like one of the last sleds. So she went sledding for the first time in her life at 75. It was really cute. Okay. So should we do some readings? Yeah. Okay. Gabby, what's your question? Let me find my rock. My comfort rock. And I decided I'm going to be changing the background here after the first of the year so I can use it as a tax write-off for next year. I'm going to put up a bookshelf here that's different because I have too many books and cards, and I want to put more plants in here. A general reading. Okay, you got it. I'm humming and pausing because I worry about a possible respiratory virus for you. Because I felt that little bit of a cough in my nose and my head hurts. Now I've got a lot of pressure up here. They've done studies that like on like nosocomial infections, which means infections in the hospital. And what they found was flus and like, well, specifically they were looking at the flu spreads less easily in more humid environments. So I feel like you need to run a humidifier in your house. It might help tamp down. So I don't know if your husband's been exposed or something like that, but I feel like it'll tamp down the risk of transmission. Right side of your forehead, you've had pressure. What? Right night. Okay, we're going to be blocking you because you seem like you might be in a little bit of a spot where you're maybe not okay. Here you go. Blessings to you. Some people have, I don't want to laugh at that. I really want to be like, can have episodes of like psychoses, like religiosity, things like that. So I don't want to laugh at that person because I think that they really believe what they're writing. And I have a sister who has a lot of mental health struggles, and some of hers runs along those lines. And so she genuinely, when she's going through that, genuinely believes the things that she's experiencing. So I don't want to laugh at that person, and I want you to really respect that energy. Is like they're not. I mean, like she would post stuff online, and people would like egg it on, or laugh at her, or make fun of her. And like, where is the family? But literally, like, I have to block her because I cannot have any relationship with her just for lots of reasons. But I want to say that it's not something to laugh at because they're genuinely believing where they're at, and I have the utmost empathy for people that are going through that. So if you see somebody that's writing things like that or seems like they're not well or balanced, try not to laugh at them. They can't help it. Just either give it no attention, is usually the best. Is to, if you don't know them and you can't help them, just move on. Don't add energy to it. Okay. I also want to add, like, if they get help and they come out of it, it is kind of like a spot where they feel embarrassed about what they're putting out there. So that's why it's just, we can all be grown-ups here and be empathetic. Hi, Creative Chicks. How are you? You're driving to Charleston and need your dose of Annalisa. Yay! Okay, I'm just reading for Gabby. We had a moment of little bit of, I don't know. And I was just informing people that when we see people who have moments of imbalance or periods of imbalance, that we try not to laugh at that. Okay. It's called religious psychosis. So like a lot of people, you'll see it with new age stuff. You'll see it. We learned in nursing school, Like my sister goes towards more Christianity and Jesus and all of that, which I find interesting, but you know, it is what it is. No, I'm thinking about many of the things she has sent me. It's very interesting, and it for a long time was very upsetting. And she genuinely doesn't believe anything's wrong with her, and she genuinely believes she is experiencing all of those things. And that person probably does too. So, okay. Okay, so I was saying about the, yeah. Maybe run a humidifier in your house to help mitigate some sort of exposure. Okay. You know, it's funny because I'm just feeling like lots of preparation around you, which is like, I feel like always kind of par for the course where you're at. And I also feel like, uh, if when she comes, if she seems uneasy, play music for her. I feel like she's really going to enjoy music. Um, I keep hearing that song. It's by Ray. Ray, is that her name? It's Worth It, called Worth It. Ray is her name. I listen to this like all the time. Hold on. But it's got horns in it. Yeah, Ray, Raye. But it's got horns in it. I feel like she'll like music that's a little more dynamic and has more rhythm to it. I'm like bringing about to like Tedeschi Trucks Band has like a lot of instruments. They have a lot of musicians that play with them. They're all very talented, um, in their own platforms as well. There's something about her toes, and I don't know if it's that you'll notice that she always like puts her little big toe up. We call my bunny as a miniature bunny. She's a miniature Holland Lop, but we call them her little big feet because her back feet, they're like big, but they're little. So it's like this little big toe. I feel like she fans them, or it's like always, I feel like that's something that you need to look at. I don't know why, but they're just showing me that specifically. There's something about your sister taking care of your son. So I'm not sure I fully understand that, if maybe he gets a little cold or something, but I feel like she's sort of taking care of him and kind of, um, oh, okay. So, because I'm like, what is with this? I don't know if you're actually sick or that's like, how before your period, sometimes women get like cold like symptoms. I don't know if it's something like that, like where it's like that drop off where you're going to have that. I don't fully understand, but I keep feeling like your husband needs to be quarantined or your husband needs to be kept separate. Um, it's not the cooties. You're hoping to go into labor while she's here. She really helps keep me calm, but also my son would be with my niece and nephew. So we'd love. Okay. Um, Need to sing. I think that's how you say it. Um, these parts when they're personal readings are paid readings. And then if you want a free Oracle card reading, you stay to the end for that. But otherwise, it's $12 a question, which is like minimal. And then I donate 30% of that to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, because every dollar provides 3 meals, which, food scarcity is real. And you've been cleaning like crazy. I want to say like I'm getting so much, but I'm not. I just feel like this is sort of one of those times where you just um, sit and connect with your own body. Oh, uh, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like you need to know this. So with my oldest daughter, I pushed for a long time. And I knew as a nurse, because I was a postpartum, antepartum GYN nurse when I first got out of school for a couple of years. Then I got bored because it was just, there was a lot of monotony. Um, but uh, there was a point where I think I'd been pushing 2.5 hours. And, like if you get to 3, that's when they section you. And I was kind of like, that's not happening to me. And it's funny because I always say like when I look at my labors, I feel like they're very much like my children's personalities. Like my oldest is, you're not going to push her to do something if she doesn't want to. I think that's part of her PDA profile, like the autism, um, demand avoidance / demand for autonomy. But you have to like gently coax her or like offer it as a choice. It's not really a choice. So like there was a point then where they were like, she's not dropping down. And I was like, I looked at the nurse. I was like, can you just like go out and give me a little bit of time with my body? And I literally just like rubbed my belly and talked to her. And I was like, it's okay. Like you can come out, you can like, this is okay. It's going to be okay. And the nurse came back and she goes, I don't know what you did, but she dropped. And I just feel like you might need to gently coax your daughter. I know I said it was going to be quick before, but there's something where I feel like you need to talk to your body. And maybe that's just about preparation before you even go into labor, but it feels like there needs to be a conversation or a reminder in a moment to have a conversation. I don't know. I'm going to leave you with that because I'm not really getting like, I feel like it's really just about you just sort of now like coasting. You feel that too. You feel like you're almost going to get scared. Yeah. And I feel like you just need to remind yourself, first of all, like our bodies were built for this. And yes, before modern medicine, there was a lot of maternal fetal death. And, but our bodies are built for it. You're going to be in a place where if something goes wrong, you have medical intervention, like you're going to be okay. I mean, I'm a fan of epidurals, though my third one did not take, so I felt the whole thing. But, you know, I say if you don't have to be in pain, why be in pain? But it's one of those things of you like learning to listen to your body and trust it and all of that. Okay. I really am lucky. I have to tell you, I have some of the sweetest clients ever. So just telling you. Misty, what's your question, love? Like when I told my one client, because this is one who like, she's so funny. She goes, if that thing happens, first she was like, because I told her about it and I was like, well, she's like, I'll sponsor you. I was like, no, it's fine. Like, this is all gonna, like, it's a long story. But then she's like, okay, and if this happens, she's like, you have to raise your rates. She's always giving me a hard time about not raising my rates. Because she thinks I'm worth more. But I'll always I was like, you will always have the family and friends discount. So if I end up raising my rates for people who have like been long-term supportive, whatever, don't worry, I got you. Okay. All right. Wiggly legs today again. Okay, Misty, let's go general reading. Misty, oh, okay. I feel like, so we're going for like a 2026 reading for you. And I just feel like good things are happening for you. It feels like a really expansive, explosive year for you, and like explosive in a good way, like celebratory, yay, fireworks kind of way, not as in a like sinkhole explosive way. I still keep hearing this song in my head, and it just feels like it's going to be a year of you being bold and taking chances. I feel like love is going to come in for you, and there's something around February. I don't know if that's when you meet this person or when you get bold and push yourself out there. But this is like the year of you kind of going like, get like, I'm done playing small. Um, Something shifted. I don't know if you would like look at your chart and see something. It feels like around, I don't know what planets moves between the 26th and 28th of December. Um, oh Lord, don't tell me. Don't tell your husband. So maybe this is like a renewal of love within your marriage. Wait, I thought you were single. Am I wrong on that? No. So it just feels like that's where, so maybe in February something happens where you shift it. I'm going to tell you, I really think everybody should like lock in. You're married for 13 years. So this is like then going to be a renewal. So this might be around February, something happens. If you're like, yes, I would welcome that, I'm going to encourage you to lock in on manifesting it. And not like, oh, I'm trying, I'm manifesting, because if you're trying, then it's not happening. It's like visualizing or just deciding like we have a really healthy, loving, open communication and connection. We're, like he's such a great supportive partner. I don't give a shit what he's doing in the 3D. I don't give a shit how terrible it looks. You just go in and you decide, nope, this is how it is. Like, yeah, I see that. But that's like old news dragging through. The truth is this is how he shows up now all the time. It works. You're like, why are you getting divorced? Because there's too much of an old story for me to fight now for that one. But what I can tell you is that there was a situation where I was like certain the old story would have been like he would have responded in a certain way, and I was like sort of spiraling about it, and then I went in and got quiet and was like, no, he like you're like I visualized it as like a thought transmission, like you're totally agreeable to this is totally okay, blah blah blah. And then not 3 minutes later he responded to my text message and I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. Well, he didn't say no problem, he just said okay, and I was like, okay, done. It was not a huge request, but in the past I would have either gotten no response at all or some other thing that wasn't agreeable. I've locked in on it with so many different things lately. So it's this idea of just like, it doesn't matter how absurd it seems. It doesn't matter how illogical it seems. It doesn't matter how 3D impossible it seems. Just decide. I don't care that he's had 14 or 15 years of you. If he always responds a certain way, it's like, no, like he's just like open and honest about stuff. Now he's really like wanting to do more things. He's planning more things. He's taking more of an initiative. He's being accountable, like whatever it is where you want that, or like, oh, he suggested we go away on a vacation, like, and planned it and took care of it. And I didn't have to do anything. Like, that's it. Like, you just decide that that's what it is and that's what you want. You're not going to lose anything if you think about it this way in here. If you think about it that way, if you're like, no, I'm just going to lock it in hardcore, just say like, this is what's happened. This is how he is. You're not missing out on anything if it doesn't happen. So why not just try? Because the worst thing that happens is you remain where you're at in the same situation. Good morning, Denise. Yes, I had a low-key Christmas, but it's fine. I like low-key. I don't like chaos. Right now. Maybe later I won't mind chaos. But right now I'm working on nervous system regulation. So low-key works. Okay. That's kind of what I'm getting though, is like that it's going to be a big year of you just being bold and expansive. And so maybe the new love is a refreshed love, something different, reprogramming how he shows up. So it's this idea of like, in your world, you like low-key too, but chaos it was. Oh, I'm so sorry. I told my kids, because my younger two wanted to go out. My Stu's birthday is on Christmas Eve, so my younger two wanted to go out and get him a present, and we hadn't had time to go shopping, and so I took them out on Christmas Eve. And it was really cute because I was like, okay, we need to go early. We need to get this done. Like the crowds, it's going to be really busy. And I'm like, parking's going to suck. It was so cute because we drove up. It was actually really not bad at all. We got like parked close and everything. And my middle daughter was like, I manifested that it wouldn't be as bad as you thought, Mom. And I'm like, oh my God, I love you. But so we went, and then there was a point to that too. See, fuck brain. Well, see, I teach manifesting to my kids. That was my most chaos, is like going shopping on Christmas Eve for that. It was fun watching the kids enjoy. Cooking is always chaotic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't. Oh, I told my one daughter was like, I didn't get you anything. And I was like, I don't really care. It's fine. I was like, you can get me no fighting, no meltdowns, and no dysregulation. That would be the best present ever. And so there was like one point where they're fighting. I was like, what's my present again? And they stopped. They're like, okay. I'm like, yes. If only I could stretch that out for 365. Okay, so Misty, I just feel like, yeah, big year. And also like the sort of moving into that mode of like, what do you have to lose by dreaming big? What do you have to lose by not playing small anymore? Like I spent a lifetime already of like minimizing as much as I could for other people to see if maybe they would be happy. And guess what? I don't talk to any of those people anymore, one minimally. And because playing small for them did not make them happy, and it sure as shit didn't make me happy. So it wasn't, the one good thing was I was like, we are on a time crunch, we got to go, like, because their dad was going to pick him up for a movie, because it's his birthday. So I was like, we got to go. Okay. So I could like move them along instead of having to like sit, and because usually like we went into Lush to get something for my mom, and usually the girls want to like try all the stuff on and like go in the sink, and like, and I was like, we can't, we gotta like, we're on it. So that was nice. Anyway, okay, Misty, you got yours. Angelique, what are your questions? Sorry that was so disjointed. I apologize. Angelique, if you want to write your two, and then you, Regine, if you want to write yours, and then I'll go through them. I said February would be good last time as well. Oh, good. Okay, so then that's like a whatever. I can't think today. Again, like yesterday, I told her, I was like, I promise there'll be good readings. Like when I'm a little, like you're good. And it really did flow at a point. I was like, there was something I was going to talk to her about, and I just started essentially channeling. I felt like I stepped completely out of my body. And then I went back and I was like, oh, we're going to talk about that. I was like, I don't even know. I don't even remember what that was. Like, so when I do a private reading, I scan through all of your body, and she's quite intuitive naturally. And sometimes when people are like that and like pretty open to readings, I was already starting to get information for her as I was doing the opening, like the prayer that I do, which is not very common. I usually start when I do your meditation, I start getting information, but I was like scribbling and then like trying to do the prayer and like scribbling, and it's acting wordy. Hang on. Start with a general for Regine. Wait, hang on. Oh, let's see what's going on. Wait, what's wrong, Angelique? Oh, major energies or themes for you in 2026. Is that, what is the for heat? Is that, what's HEAT? I mean, I know what heat is, but I don't think that that's the word you meant to type there. Oh, see, you said that, not the right word. Hang on. I feel like this is smudgy. Sorry. Cover your eyes. Still smudgy. Maybe it's the light. I don't know. Sorry. There you go. I am currently a full-time ceramic artist and in the process of transitioning into a part-time coaching role career shift. My intention is to do both. Does it feel like a good shift for me? Wait, what is the heat supposed to be mean? What word is that supposed to be? Oh, what? Not heat? You're supposed to say what major energies? Okay, got it. Sorry. My brain wasn't quite connecting with that one. That's a me problem, not a you problem. I'm just putting more lip stuff on because, I'm sort of obsessed. It's okay, right? It's not too unhealthy of an obsession. All right. Even though you have these two career things like kind of going on, and we'll go to that or whatever, I feel like actually you're a big thing for you in 2026 is going to be about health and self-care. Because when I connected with your energy, I felt really tight in my jaw. I feel really tight down my left shoulder. Like this is my traps. But it feels like I would actually say you're probably tight here in your pectoral muscle because of where it's hurting in my shoulder. If you get really tight there, it can actually, I don't know if you can see. So this is my collarbone right here, corner of my shoulder, like where I would start that, where that joint is. I feel really tight here. That's your pectoral muscle, but I actually feel it relieve pressure almost on the cap of my shoulder and a little bit back. I felt a lot of like sour type feeling in my stomach. So I feel like really cleaning up. I'll say this when like discombobulated now. Looks like I snuck away somewhere. Just kidding. I'm going to do cards today. Yep. I'll still take a question if you want, maybe. No worries, Denise. So there was a point, I know I always tell back stories, but there was a point, I guess maybe I'd like you to know how I figured this shit out. So there was a point when my middle daughter was like 18 months old and I started having I woke up with it. I had massive pain in my shoulder, but it was like weird because I could go, if I drove up a hill or down a hill, so it was positional, my arm would go numb down my left arm. So it had nothing to do with like a cardiac issue or anything like that. It was definitely positional, hitting a nerve, whatever. So I would go to my chiropractor and he was working on it like gua sha and like stretching it and moving it and doing all of that stuff for like 3 days a week for a while. And he was finally like, can you just do one of these food tests and see? And Stu was like, it was like $800. He's like, you better find something wrong. And I'm like, of course. And there's like this huge list of foods that I have sensitivities to. And now that I think about that list, it's actually much closer to like a histamine issue. But it feels like you're going to focus on your diet a lot and like cleaning that up and moving towards, and not like psychotically, right? But just like really looking at how foods make you feel, and looking at symptoms that you're coming up with and like, well, maybe I have some inflammation. Maybe I should try and remove, one at a time. Like if I eat a lot of gluten, I get a lot of neck pain and tightness in my muscles. I also end up, if it's a lot, I end up with anxiety, which my daughter also gets anxiety from gluten. It's weird. I know it sounds crazy, but remove the gluten, her anxiety like dropped significantly. So Felicia, these are paid readings for the personal things. And I understand why you wrote all of those symbols to get me to notice it. I look through all of them. I promise it's not crazy here. We run a tight ship. But I also do it for paid for that portion of it. I used to do them for free and people became kind of rude and pushy. And I just thought, well, that's silly. Why should we tolerate that behavior? I don't know how to say your name. I'm going to try NECA and CB for a question. I'll add you to the list. So my point is, I feel like in 2026, your big thing, like overarching kind of like something you're going to be focusing on is self-care and health. Self-care can mean anything from like jokingly, well, I don't think she was joking, but like Regine said, this is part of her self-care is showing up here. It's not about necessarily like getting your nails done, getting your hair done and like whatever, but it might mean like really focusing on putting your needs and your health first, like getting enough sleep, doing those things. Like if you say you're tired, you're going to go to bed. It feels like simple, but actually quite shifting for you, because I feel like as you do that, and you sort of go in and focus on yourself, that's where it helps the growth with your job questions. That makes a lot of sense. History of food allergies. Right. So they might not genuinely be like, it might be more like an MCAS histamine issue rather than a food allergy. Um, I feel like that helps a lot of that. And then I also feel like more movement and just really focusing on like, look, this is the vehicle I have for the rest of my life. I need to take care of it so my soul can enjoy the rest of my life. That's sort of the way I look at it. Like, I'm not going to let my car go downhill. Y'all, I even fixed my own car in the last week or so. Maybe it was more than a week. I don't know. Um, the like passenger cover of the passenger mirror fell off. I don't know when. My daughter pointed it out. She's like, Mom. And I was like, oh. So I went and ordered the part, and like the guys were kind of flirting with me a little bit. And the one guy was like, when it comes in, if you want to come out, I'll put it on for you. I was like, okay. But then I was in a hurry, so I couldn't even get him to do it. So I had to learn to do it myself. So whatever. It was fine. It took like nothing, no time at all. The hardest time was like popping the actual face of the mirror back on when I had to take it off to get the screw out and then put another one in. I was going to try and flirt my way into that one. I've never done that before. And so I thought, why not take advantage of it? Thank you, Denise. I'm trying new things in my life. I've always been so extremely independent. Okay. So that's what I feel like is going to happen. It's like sort of like you just like focusing on you, putting you first, and then in a feeling of like not being selfish. Okay. So I want to say this because I think this is for everyone. You said I'm currently a full-time ceramic artist, which I love, by the way, and am in the process of transitioning into a part-time coaching role career shift. My intention is to do both. Does this feel like a good shift for me? So good morning, Debbie. How are you? So what I would say is to anyone, if you think of time as not linear, but like literally all happens at once, and that yes, for flirting. I'm glad you're doing well. So whatever. Refocus. If you think of time as all at once, if you think that there are infinite possibilities, like it's that saying of like everything exists, everything that ever has happened or whatever already exists, and every possibility exists. So that means my nails can be perfectly done already, or they're not. Like literally any possibility, any combination of possibilities, they already exist. So that makes for infinite planes of existence, all just in this one lifetime. But remember, we have multiple lifetimes that we've lived. So like expansive, right? Can your brain handle that? Or even like wrap its mind around what that really means? Probably not. But if you get the desire to do something, that means the possibility that existence is there. Hi, Ashley. How are you? How is your boyfriend doing? Is he feeling better? So if that possibility exists, right, then you will get the desire for it. So I want to say that first of all, like the possibility there for working out and doing really well does exist. I feel like the first 3 months of you doing that, you're going to feel like it's a shit show. You're going to feel a little frustrated. You're going to feel like a little disappointed. It's not going as smoothly or as easily as I wanted. And then it feels like you get a client or something happens or you get the feedback in the 3rd month and you're like, yes, this is a thing. I can do this, whatever. But it feels like the first 3 months you're going to be like kind of swimming out there without a float, without a life raft, and kind of wondering if this is like really going to pan out. In that 3rd month, you're going to get feedback. It's not like you're going to get the big fish client or you're going to all of a sudden get all of this stuff in. You're going to get the feedback that gives you the drive to keep going. I do feel like you will always have this ceramic artistry thing there. I don't feel like you'll be as reliant on it as an income in like 6 years. So it feels like the shift of the being like half and half, or like 75% of my income comes in from that and 25 from this. But it feels like then you've sort of regained when you're like, it might be more like 75-25, because I don't think you'll ever quit one and quit making money on the ceramics, but I feel like you find a love for it again rather than a grinding for it, where it's better if you're doing it less because you really enjoy it and love it. I realize that sometimes I hold this with two hands, but it's not because I can't hold it with one. I just like the warmth of it. So if you're like thinking, because I think of the Trump thing where they're like, look, he can't drink his water bottle without two hands. And I'm like, it's not the same. I swear to God. Your goal is to start taking clients in March in 3 months. Okay. But I feel like it's after you start. So maybe it is. Maybe there's something with that. Maybe that's when you start taking your first client, and then you get, but it was like there was something about the 3 month mark. And then when you get your first client, or you get that feedback from that first client, whatever, that's good. Or the first time you get the feedback from the client, you feel like, okay, this is like, I'm not crazy. This is something this is what makes me want to do it. You're very welcome. And I think did you have a third question, or was just two? No, it was Regine that had three. All right, Miss Regine. Hi, Felicia. Did you figure out how to pay? I'm sorry, I just saw your thing. Give me a second and I will, in the description of this, there's a link for PayPal. If you give me a second, I will copy and paste it here. There you go. And I will pin it. Okay, I need to add CB here and NECA. And EKA. He's improved a lot. His CRP number has gone down a lot. So they discharged him to come home today. Breathing is better, but still coughing, but not as much. He regrets not seeing a doctor sooner. Life lessons are sometimes learned the hard way, aren't they? Is he on antibiotics? Antibiotics twice a day. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes those coughs too, like even after you finish your round of antibiotics, sometimes coughs will linger for like literally weeks afterwards. I don't know. It sucks. Trying to be quiet. All right, Miss Regine. I know I saw you write something. I think you wrote just a general. Hang on. May I start with a general, please? That is your pattern. All right. Have you heard that? I can't think of who says this voice where it goes, whoa, that's nice. It's a woman's voice. He has to do repeat labs and chest x-ray in the next few days. Okay. So I feel like, it's not though. I feel like you're going to have a really big first and second week of January. And they're showing me like a diamond sparkling. So I don't know if it's that maybe you're doing your readings and you're getting a lot of diamonds or whatever on there when you're doing your live readings, but it's like there's something where it's like something big in those 2 weeks. Are you planning on doing readings on actual New Year's Day? You have a little like somebody who's a little sweet on you that watches you on there. I don't know if it'll go beyond like this sort of voyeuristic thing, but I feel like you need to remember that. So there is a mindset shift that needs to happen for you around your value and your worth, and sort of like, rather than like, well, I wonder if this guy's going to be attracted to me. I wonder if there's going to be this gift of somebody coming to me, where it's like, of course, and of course they would like me. Of course they would be attracted to me. Why wouldn't they want to be with me? Yes, it's Tiffany Haddish. Thank you, CB. I just feel like there needs to be a mindset shift for you. And then honestly, when you do it, it's like this, a switch is flipped, and then March, this is another 3 thing. I'm specifically getting March 7th as being important. Watch the day I'll come and go, and you'll be like, Anna. But maybe it's connected to whoever this love is that's coming in. But it's this idea of like, there's still a limiting belief around what's possible for love for you. And there's still an idea around like, well, maybe they'll be attracted to me. And it's like, why the fuck wouldn't they? Not everybody wants the same body type or personality or whatever. Like, you are lovable and amazing, and you don't have to look a certain way or have a certain, I don't know, career path, whatever. Like, you are lovable just as you are and attractive just as you are. You're working hard on it. So we're going to stop saying I'm working hard on it. We're going to say it's done. You're just going to start telling yourself, like, of course I'm lovable. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I be? Of course I'm attractive. Why the fuck wouldn't I be? Like, you don't have to be conventionally like, and I still think you're beautiful, like whatever. But I'm saying, like, you don't have to have this idea of something that fits in a box. And if you don't fit in there, then like somehow you're not attractive. What if he's younger? Of course somebody younger would be attracted to you. What if he's, I don't know, like in a totally different career field than you are, and his mindset is one way? Like, who fucking cares? Like, it doesn't have to be one way. Sorry, I swear a lot. Promising you things, I guess, when you're swearing things. I don't know, I'm just kidding. So it's just that idea of like, I mean, I noticed some limiting beliefs for me where I was like, oh, why am I, and this is around something I'm manifesting where seemingly impossible, where it's like, or taboo-y or whatever, like it's not really whatever. But like, even when you look at like, if you're listening to tarot readings or whatever, and I'm not saying like, look, you're coming to me, so whatever, who am I? But like when things pop up, it's like, background noise. I sometimes will listen to this Baba Jolie tarot readings, and like one of them I was like, because I always listen to the Aries one since I'm Aries rising, and I always feel like my rising sign always fits better with like the readings than my sun sign. And really and truly, that's really what you should be looking at, is your rising sign. Because that's like where you're supposed to be moving in this lifetime, or how you're presenting, whatever. Because I don't necessarily like, I mean, I sort of connect with my sun sign. I'm super, super late degree Cancer. I'm like almost a Leo. Like, so I basically mastered all of that, whatever, but I don't like, I mean, I do now a little bit homebody-ish, but whatever. Anyways, my point being is like, when I listened to her stuff, I started to listen when it was like twin flame and separation or whatever. I was like, well, that's stupid. Like, why would you want to do twin flame? Because it was just like played on my thing. And I was like, well, like that's not even, or when you look at like, they just have like different readings where it's like, and I'm like, oh, that's like weird. It has such a negative connotation. Don't even listen to that. It just feels like, stop looking for a sign for something and just dig in. There's so much of us that want to look for a sign when we're manifesting. And what if it's just like, you don't need a sign, you just know it's happening. I don't need a sign to know that seed that I planted for that plant is growing. I know that sign will come up when it comes up and it shows up in my 3D and the plant is there. When you're looking for love, you just decide, I am lovable as I am. Like if you don't know who you want in mind, it's like, well, he's going to love me just as I am, perfectly as I am. He's going to love, like, you have a quirk. He fucking loves that, man. He digs into that. I'm like, you know, he does tarot. What if he doesn't accept it? No, he's totally into it. He thinks it's cool. He likes that I'm just like authentically myself and I don't really care. Like, whatever it is, he's into it. He loves it. He loves your curves. He's fucking into it. That's like the best part. When you listen to, like, there's this guy on there and he was talking about, he's like, ladies, this is on TikTok. It's like, ladies, if you're like worried about like whatever curves or whatever, he's like that little bit of pooch, like you heard men talk about it, they fucking love it. Like, you know, like, I don't know, whatever. Every man is different. Like, not every man wants the hard body, ripped 6-pack woman. I don't necessarily, you know, like a super ripped man. I like muscles, don't get me wrong, but they're a man. I'm just saying, just stop deciding what somebody else doesn't like because you've been brainwashed forever. Brainwash yourself into knowing that you're totally fucking lovable and acceptable and amazing and worthy and deserving just as you are without having to change a damn thing. Just saying. Okay? Got it? Good. That's coming in for you this year, but I feel like it comes in because you make that mindset shift. Because even though you've asked about it in the past, I never really felt like your mind was there of like really drawing it in, because there's still this part of you that's like, but I'm not X, Y, and Z enough yet. So they couldn't possibly. And I'm like, yeah, they can. Totally. 100%. And sort of like learning to embrace all of who you are just as you are is really important. So then you're going to look at yourself and be like, God damn, look how good I look today. Look how beautiful I am. Like, you're going to start talking to yourself that way. Because you're not saying I'm the most beautiful woman in the world, and you could if you wanted to. It's your brain. You could talk to yourself how you want. I mean, it's talking to yourself like that is a lot better than saying, I'm just not enough. Ugh, gross. Look I have a lump and a bump. Yeah, get over it. So does everybody. So does everybody. Except for those people who like model. This is what I think is really weird. Like, have you ever seen like ads for, or even people like influencers who like wear like Spanx or whatever like that? It's like for body shapewear. And I'm like, you quite literally are a 0 or 2. Please stop. Because when I was a 0 and a 2, I never even considered shapewear at all. Like, please stop that. Not even I didn't even really consider it a 4. So, like, I've been on a lot of big spectrum of sizes in my lifetime, and those were not the sizes that I was wearing ever, any shapewear or considering it, other than like something to make look like I had boobs. Now I don't care. Now I say like little boobs are wonderful. I'm sorry for dying laughing at this. So Stu is getting furniture in his apartment today, and the furniture people have been stuck in the elevator for 30 minutes, and they had to call the fire department. I'm sorry for laughing. I couldn't help it. I'm just was checking because it's like that he was supposed to pick up the girls and show them the apartment with the furniture in it. Okay. If you don't embarrass yourself, no one else can. Okay, I was just stopping in to say hi. Hi, Ash. Okay. With a quick thank you for letting me know that he's doing better. Does your spirit team think you should do more meditation? I don't really do it or like it much, but lady, here's the thing about your spiritual practice. Just fucking do whatever you want. Like, really and truly, like whatever you feel guided to do. So if you don't feel guided to meditate, your guides are like, don't do it. It doesn't matter. It's not for you. I have never been able to keep a really strict routine around meditation. I very much do it sporadically. I think it's great when people can do it all the time. I didn't have the nervous system to keep it that way for a long time. Like, I know it's supposed to help with it, but like, I love doing group meditations because I like the collective energy of it. Like, it's like being on drugs for me. It's real. I mean, I've never really done a lot of drugs. I've only smoked weed, so like whatever. But and it's legal. So if my kids are watching this, mommy's a grown up. It's legal. I don't do it all the time. Okay. I haven't done it in forever. God, I have to justify that. Okay. But like not like acid or any of that stuff. But when I've watched friends been on it, it to me sounds like a similar experience. But individual meditation, I usually fall asleep. It doesn't like I don't stick with it that well. I mean, I'm gonna be full on. Is the list closed? You can add in if you want, Karanga. You're not still enough to meditate. So if you're going to do a meditation, if you're not still enough to meditate, here's what I would suggest to you to do, because meditation is really just about learning to be present in the moment. So I have learned to like really listen to my own thoughts around the I am, like what follows I am is really important, and really focusing on like looking at stuff really to be present and figure out like, well, is this thought being, if I'm manifesting this, is this being blocked? So like, that's my being present. Or if I'm eating, I decide to like, just focus on my meal, just focus on chewing. How does the feel of the feel of the food in your mouth, the smells, the sounds of like the fork hitting the plate, whatever it is. Right. So being fully present, there, done, meditated. Maybe the thing for you to get yourself present is doing a quick box breath work, right? So it's like 4 in, 4 out, that thing like a box, whatever. 4 in, hold, 4 out, hold, 4, 4, and 4. There we go. That's what it is. Because I was like, that was like an up and down. Anyway, it is whatever it is. So I don't know if that's like an intuitive thing that your guides are like, well, you really need you to do that. But they're more like, just stop rushing, right? There's no rush to grow in your abilities. Manifesting isn't the same as meditating. What I'm talking about is like being present in your thoughts instead of like letting it spiral, but being present in like observation. So in a way, but not. It can be meditative if you learn to just be present in your thoughts. But that's not like the act of it is just like the act of manifesting is really just deciding something is and it is. There is a part of it then that becomes being present. If that makes sense. So it's this idea, Regina, of like, it's not about like, we want you to do this. Oh, this is the other thing that I realized. And maybe I said this last time. I can't remember where I like aha'd it. I think I said this last time. Our guides are really just an aspect of our higher selves. And I think sometimes when they appear to be like from different lifetimes or different genders or whatever, that's still an aspect of who we are, with more wisdom in certain areas to guide us here, like a specialty, if you will. But they're not telling us what to do or how to do it. They're just saying like, you want to use us, we're here, much like a Siri or an Alexa. Like they're not, the only way that sometimes they've bumped me back in where I'm like totally going off course, right? Like yelling at me in my ear, like, you're going to go to nursing school. And that's it. Like, okay, fine. But they're not like, I don't know, telling me what to do on a like minuscule daily basis. If you feel called to meditate, meditate. If you don't feel guilty about it. What's one person's spiritual practice is not another. I saw something that somebody said about like meditation is really the spiritual practices of men, because men need to learn to center and ground more. And I can't remember what the women's one was, but it was much different. It was more active. Like it was more about movement, dancing and things like that. I think it was like movement in the body. And I can't fully remember what the justification of what it was, but I was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting, because I've never really felt like, people will say they meditate, like, oh, I meditate every day. And I'm like, I don't know, my neurodivergent brain just can't. I apparently need movement. And there's nothing wrong with that. Find other ways. There's always other ways to get your brain to just be present in the moment. I think also one thing I really love about ice skating is it forces me to be present because I have to I'm paying attention because I'm learning skills and stuff. And so I'm paying attention to what muscles are being activated in order to get me into that position, to get me on an edge, or to get me to stay up on my feet after I make a turn or whatever, right? On an edge. You're impatient. I know that's what they're saying. You're impatient and you want more, and that's great. But like, as much as I want to become fluent in a language, I'm not going to do it overnight. You're creating a whole new language. You're not going to become fluent overnight. So you need to think of it in those terms instead of like this magical thing that I'll get blown away with. If you had the abilities that I have and you had them overnight, you would potentially go into psychoses and just feel like a fucking crazy mess. It took me a long time to get really comfortable with what I'm doing, and also to get really comfortable with, like, I know this is happening because I've had enough feedback over the years to tell me that this is real. And so I'm going to trust even the really subtle stuff of like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but this is what I'm being shown. And then to like look people in the face and be like, I'm not crazy. Because I've had a lot of people tell me over the years, you're crazy. You're fucking crazy for like, you think you can do this. You're talking to demons. Like, you need to move through this and grow a little bit slower than people want to. And I've been where you're at. So I'm telling you, not because it's not possible to grow it overnight. You can. You absolutely can. Nothing is impossible. But there's this aspect of being human that forces you to like grow slower. If you give an injection, right? The idea of giving an injection, especially with like a thicker IM injection, like the HPV vaccine is very thick and it's very fucking painful. You inject slowly. You inject slowly for things like that because it helps the expansion of the tissues be a little bit, and a larger injection too. You want to expand the tissue slowly. The faster you do it, the more trauma and pain you cause. So like, you still get it either way. One way is much more difficult and the other way is not. You don't do enough, but it's working on my beliefs. Yeah. So one thing I had a hard time was trusting that like I was getting it right because I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to and it wasn't about like my ego wanting to be like, oh no, like fuck it, I can be wrong all the time. Like, it is what it is. I didn't want to let people down. Right? I didn't want to fail others because I knew that when people come to me for a reading, they're more often than not these necessarily, like some of you are just whatever, but in a difficult place. They're in a vulnerable place. And so I did not want to let somebody down when they were in that position. Right? So for a long time, I'd be like, oh, I don't know, like, and then I finally decided to help me get past that fear, right? I decided I may not be able to trust what I'm getting, but I do trust my guides. So maybe I'm going to interpret it wrong, but I trust that they're always going to give me information. It's going to be there and they're getting it right. I may not interpret it right, but they are getting it right. And so that allowed me to kind of sort of step into this place of stopping that fear of keeping me from dumping out from my mouth. I say everything, almost everything now. I barely ever hold anything back. But I second guessed it a lot before because I'd be like, I don't know what if I'm wrong. And then they would say something. I'd be like, motherfucker, I should have said that and proved myself, right? Like that takes time. That's okay. That's part of the process. Like that's part of the richness of it. Like, it's like this idea of like, I want to rush doing a braised piece of meat that's like, like slow cook, whatever. But it's like, but if you rush it, it doesn't necessarily have the same flavor that it would. Like, just enjoy the process of it. You take a lot more pride in it too. Like there's wisdom that comes with your wisdom comes over time. It's not something that like you just because you got a degree, now you're wise. Like wisdom's about time and experience. It's not about intelligence. They're two totally different things. And part of the impatience is also like, that's part of the process too. Like, so embrace it all. I mean, I look back at it where I'm like, oh yeah, I totally remember being there. But if I hadn't gone through all those stages, how am I helpful to you now? I would just be not relatable. I'd be like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It just worked for me. I just got it overnight. Like, that's a shitty place to be, by the way. Because I went through like, even just like going through a lot of things, my mom would be like, I knew we had that. And I was like, well, that's not helpful because now I just feel like a weirdo. Like, just embrace it all. I used to get readings and my grandmother would always say, come out in the readings. And she'd be like, enjoy the journey. And I was like, this, I don't want to enjoy the journey. Like, like, come on. But really there is something to be said for it. Apparently the movers are free. Sorry for laughing. Those poor men, I'm just, or women maybe. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know about the Oracle card you want me to pick. Okay, so let's go. Now I'm done with Regine. Creative Chicks wants Trust Your Vibes. Happy solstice. First question is, will I get the job I'm applying for at the writing center in school this spring semester? Regine, do you have another question? Are you having something where you're like feel nauseous, Catherine? Or did you just get over like a stomach bug? I was just like, you're not nauseating. No. Okay. Are you doing readings today, Regine? Will I see you later? Oh, okay. Maybe that's what that is. I'm going to suggest something that might seem a little unorthodox. Do you ever take Pepcid for it, or famotidine is the generic name? Famotidine. It's a histamine blocker or inhibitor. I don't know, one of those. If you take that and it offers relief, it might be a histamine issue rather than like a too much acid issue. You do. Try a Benadryl or Allegra or something like that. And you don't need like a full dose of Benadryl. I'll take like a pediatric dose of just 12.5 milligrams. I don't take that all the time for it, but that is the thing I will do to test if it's a histamine issue or something else, because it works better than Pepcid. But don't make it a regular thing because it has like extrapyramidal effects that are like not great if you're taking it long term. Regine said, okay, you are doing it. So grateful. I'm sometimes can't believe what's happening. I feel like I told you a long time ago, like you would be doing tarot, like a long time ago. So I think it's really cool, like to see when things play out like years. I think it's really cool when my clients come back and they're like, 10 years ago, you told me. I was like, what? Like, oh, crap. Okay. Regine's channel is called, isn't it Divine Regine? You put your channel in here. I did over 3 years ago. Yay. And you just started doing them, which is cool. Okay. So Catherine, will you get the job that you're applying for at the writing center in your school in spring semester? You're going to have a job, but I don't know that it's that job. Because I feel like they're almost like, oh, we actually happen to have this one that just opened up, and we feel like you would be a better fit. Like there's something where it's like, yes, but not exactly that one, because they feel like you're a better fit for something else. Yes, in the writing center. but it feels like there might be when you apply for it, or it might be they hire you for it, but you end up doing something slightly different. And it feels like because somebody leaves, or maybe they open up another, like we need another job or something like that, but there's something slightly different about it than the one you actually apply for. I forgot about this one. I have so many different combinations of lip things. It's an addiction, really. You are highly qualified. Yeah. So it feels like either somebody's leaving and they're like, we actually think you would be a better fit for this job. Would you mind doing that? Even though we hired you for this one, and then they'll hire somebody else. But so it feels like you will have a job, but it's just going to be different than the one you're actually applying for. All right, Nancy, NECA, and CB, you guys want to write out your questions, and then we'll get going on the card readings. Main highlights for 2026. You got it. I got to tell you, the year end for 2026 is going to be a lot better for you than the beginning. I feel pretty stagnated. I don't know. This is just flowing. Good for you. Meaning you, not me. I feel like you're going to be pretty stagnated, like the first quarter. And then it's like a little putt. Like the little engine that could, starting the second quarter, where it's like, I think I can. But then I feel like you really go out with a bang. You really like end up 2026 really well. This feels more around like career, money type stuff, of like really kind of setting in and focusing and building. And I almost feel like more of an entrepreneurial thing, but maybe it's not, like where you're going after the position or the career that you want. Sorry, I didn't hurt something up there. And you're locking in on it. And it's like, so it feels really stagnated the first quarter. It's like the first 3 months. And then it starts to get moving. You start to have movement, start to feel like you're making progress after that. And it's like just really knocking it out of the park, so to speak. Right, Catherine, we talked about the first one we did was, did I not do 2 for you? You did. You the question thing. Sorry, I missed it. Go ahead, ask your second one. Because then the stomach thing came up because of that. Sorry. So yes, ask your second question. That's fine. I'm just going to finish this and then I'll answer your second one. I'm sorry, for some reason my brain thought I answered 2 for you. So I feel like, I don't feel like your focus is love or health. Like I feel like I'm really focused on like career, money building, sort of like like creating something that's going to be a long-term, long-standing, I don't know. Like setting the pace for your rest of your life. I don't know, setting the foundation. Like it feels like a very foundational year for you. I don't know if any of that makes sense. It doesn't mean that you won't have love or you won't have, but it feels like my focus is really like here. And it doesn't feel like career ladder, like moving up. It feels like foundational, getting things started, but where it's like I have such a strong foundation and moving with such integrity and like really building a reputation of this is who I am, this is how I present to the world. So if you don't have Aries in your chart as like one of your main 3, I would say either sun or rising, I would be surprised, because this is like a very big pivotal year for you on being authentically yourself and showing up and like no apologies, moving into building career and money. I don't know if any of that resonates. Who did I just read for, by the way? Was that for Nancy? Yes. Your rising is the last degree of Pisces. So maybe that's part of it, is like you're going to get that overshadowing um, of like kind of moving into that. Like usually when you're in the last degree of something, it's like mastering. And I sort of think also like stepping in, learning to like kind of dipping your toe in the next sign. But who am I? Not an astrologer, that's for damn sure. Okay. All right. So that was Nancy. Sorry, Nancy. I like got a little discombobulated. All right, Catherine, you want to know, your question 2 is, will I get into Naropa with the fellowship I need starting this fall in 2026? This is like another one of those where it's like, I'm going to say it this way. So when I read that question, when you're saying the fellowship, it reads to me like there's only one job here, there's only one opportunity, and it's the only one I can have. But I feel like, again, this feels like, no, there's other opportunities that will allow you then to like do what you need. But it's like, I feel like it might not be the exact one you're thinking of, like it has to be this way, but it's just adjacent to it. And you do, and it actually ends up being a lot better for you. Like, I feel like whoever you're, so I only know this in doctor terms, so I'm not sure if that's what you're doing, but it's like a fellow works with an attending, closely with an attending. It's like whoever the other attending is that you get to work with, like you're thinking like, this is the only way I know terminology, how to explain it. So it's like, I want to work with this attending. He's really well known, or she's really well known for X, Y, and Z, like founded, either created some special technique of wrapping sutures around the cardiac, blah, blah, blah. And I want to work with them because they're the top, 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 top. But then you get this other attending, which maybe not so well known, still great, fabulous attending. And it ends up being like really amazing because this attending has something that, like, while this person created all this technique or whatever, this attending has something to teach you about actually being a doctor to patients rather than a technique or whatever. Whereas like, you know, they develop something about working with patients and like learning how to like listen to a patient and like basically discover the issue without even needing a test and then just getting the test to validate. It's like you get a wealth of wisdom and knowledge that this other doctors, while they're really amazing, doesn't really offer because they don't have that interpersonal skill that you might, that this other one really does. And it's that feeling of like whoever ends up being your boss or whoever, the person who oversees your fellowship, that you end up with is like so much better, even though they're not as well known. There's one fully funded, the other way they have a partial, and I can't afford it. It will all work out financially, but it's not going to look like you think it has to look. That's the way I'm getting it. So if you can dig into circumstances don't matter, I don't care what it looks like, I will fully be funded. It's all going to work out, which doesn't sound great, but if you can trust me, I feel like it'll end up working out better than you could have expected, is the best way I can say it. Okay, CB said, you're welcome. I'd like to know if the organization that I'm interested in having intake before May of 2026 so I can start getting financially ready. I heard yes, but just shortly before, not like major. I feel like early April. Maybe the announcement is in March, and then it doesn't. Meetings and things don't start till April, something like that. Okay. What does April mean? Hi, Locked and Lovely. How are you doing? Izzy, these are, you can do, when I start card readings, you can have a free card reading if you want. You have a gala I'm planning for. So glad it's after. Okay, great. NECA, did you ask your question? Oh, terrible neck and back pain. I'm sorry. You picked on April when you said shortly before. Oh, okay. So you trusted your own intuition. Okay, NECA, if you're here, let me answer your question. If not, I'm going to just, somebody help me remind me that I need to kind of come back and ask you. But I'm going to start this policy, especially in 2026. I am not chasing anybody around for a reading. I'm not going to wait forever and beg you guys for your readings. Like if you aren't here, I don't know what to say. Yoga's helping. Oh, good. I generally feel like just a warm compress would help too. Lotus Siren, is your name NECA? Is that your name in your payment when you make a payment? Because these are the paid ratings. I don't know if you don't, I didn't see if you put in the, what, when you pay your, oh wait, is this, yeah, this is you. When you make your payment, just so you know, your name and your PayPal is NNEKA. Okay, so I'll do your reading. So that's why I have the name here, because I didn't have your, you didn't put a note in about your screen name. Okay, that's who I've been calling. All right, your job outlook for 2026. I'm asking this because I'm seeing like, it kind of reminds me of the Upside Down in Stranger Things, and I haven't really watched the show, so I'm not doing any spoilers. It's just I've seen scenes like when my daughter's watching it, and it's like dark and weird, and I just feel like that's the kind of the energy of where you're at right now. But I almost feel like I don't want to say like I'm a prisoner to it, but that's a feeling I get of like I'm stuck. Whereas I feel like, I don't see a lot of job prospects. Like this is as if I'm you, not that this is what I'm getting. So I want to clarify that. I don't see a lot of job prospects, and like also just like my coworkers aren't great. Pay's not, like it feels like nothing's that great about this job, but I need to pay my bills and I need food on the table and blah blah blah. I feel like this is maybe around June, late May, early June is where you start to have a shift of hope about like really making movement forward. Because I feel like up until now, it's like, well, I want change, but you're not really actively doing anything to have change, if this makes sense. So I feel like in June is where you really start to be like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm going to tell you this, like there are sometimes when we know we need change. I'm spot on. You're trying to find a second job. Okay. So there are times where we know we need to make change, where we're at isn't that great, but it's not so miserable that you're really willing to like risk it, right? It is until, and you see this in it's a human thing. It's absolutely a human thing. You see it in patterns everywhere. You see it in like, why don't people go to the doctor until they're really, really sick? Why don't? Because some people don't seek change until it's so bad you feel like you're suffocating and dying. Guilty. So I'm going to say that. And it's always for a variety of reasons. It's not necessarily just because you're lazy. It's like there are always other factors that factor into reasons why you make the decisions that you make, right? You always have a reason for it. But ultimately, this is like a very human thing to like not seek change until it's like unbearable. Um, I feel like it gets bad enough by June. You're like this is like shit or get off the pot time, and that's where you find another job then. But it's not until then. Interestingly enough, I do feel like it starts like either part-time or you're looking at part-time, but you end up finding another full-time job that actually pays better than where you're at. I think what happens is it's like part-time to full-time because it's like I'm getting June and then I'm getting August as a time frame. So it feels like there's like a either a probationary period or something in that 2-month period where you haven't made the total full leap yet, but by August I feel like you're done with that other stuff. Again, I'm going to always push the manifesting and the belief systems and creating your reality. Every creation ever started right here in somebody's head, and locking in and just being like, well, why should you be in a job that's totally horrible and whatever? Like, why is that the only way that you can receive money? Why is there not another opportunity or possibility out there? Why not you? Of course you're capable of doing that. Of course you're allowed, and of course something like that's available to you. Again, I've seen really freaking impossible things in my lifetime. That's why I believe in stuff like this, because I've manifested, I've done all that kind of stuff. And like, now I'm just lucky and I'm like, oh no, I can do this so much better. Like, this is going to be fun. Like, this part of my life moving forward is going to be fun in manifesting. It's not going to be, well, if it's meant for me, fuck that. If it's meant for you, like, of course it's meant for you. Done. Like, I just feel like you'll lock in a little bit more on it. Oh, and I was saying like impossible things, like I told somebody the story, like I know that multiple parallel realities exist and like multiple whatever, because there was one year where I watched a movie on Netflix on my couch, whole little like Christmas love story, watched it. Then the next year I'm sitting on my couch and a movie theater trailer comes up and it's that one. And I was like, wait, that's weird. Why would they go from Netflix to the movie theaters to like release it? That's so weird. Same storyline, same plot line, same characters, same actors. And then I was like, went and looked. I was like, has this ever been on Netflix? No, I was in a totally different timeline. I don't know how. I don't know what I did to do that, because there's other things that didn't change. Like, when I tell you that infinite lifetimes exist with all different possibilities, I'm telling you they exist. I don't know what I did that changed that one, but there was some reason for me to have that experience. I've had dreams about something happening, like a couple different things happening in a certain context of manifesting an experience, but I didn't know I was manifesting that experience when I had those dreams. Flash forward several months, manifested this experience that was like over a period of time so that these two things could happen. And I was like, that's really weird. How did I have dreams about these things, about manifesting this experience? But if I'm manifesting it, then that's like a decision that has to be made for this experience to occur. So when I tell you that all kinds of things are possible and the world is really weird, and you need to lock in on like, I can make this happen, rather than it's totally impossible and not for me, right? I'm telling you. Okay. All right. So let's do some card readings. Let's do some Oracle cards. We're for sure doing Trust Your Vibes, because I got a request from creative chicks. Sorry. So we got Trust Your Vibes, Wisdom of the Oracle, the Enchanted Map, Spirit Animal, Green Witch's Oracle, Voices of the Soul, Voice of the Souls. I ordered a couple more decks, so hopefully they'll be here soon. Magic and Mediums. Let's just stick with that. Unless you guys want to do Past Life or Inner Child. And I have the crystal ones. Why don't we do those? Let's, yeah. I'm falling apart here. Past Life, Inner Child. And then the crystal ones, because y'all like those one week. So just write down whichever deck you want. I'll take your name in that order. I will be here next weekend too, because I got nothing better to do. Just kidding. I think my kids, the girls will be with their dad. So just kidding. I know. Okay, so I think because I grew up in divorce, like I listen to some women and they're like, oh, what if you do the holidays on the same? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, again, nursing and growing up in a divorced family, I guess this like shifted my twisted little brain a lot. But, you know, I love my girls and I will miss them. But like, also like, it's okay for them to have time with their dad. And like, I can be a grown up about that. Like, I don't need to feel sorry for myself. Like I made decisions for reasons anyways, but I'll be here. And I hope you will too. Also, I'm going to be digging into, I have to grow some of my business because of this opportunity coming in, because it's mine. It's coming in. Chance for exposure. I want to have like stuff built already. So keep an eye out. I'm working fast. Let me write my list down. All right. So Creative Chicks is first. Oh, shoot. I can't write with this. Boo. I'm not going in here. That's not good. I will be getting a new iPad. Yay. Okay. Creative Checks. Jean wants Trust Your Vibes. Misty wants Enchanted Map. Also, this Saturn moving into Aries is supposedly like going to drive you forward to grow more. It's like sort of sugar get off the pot time for me. So, and that energy usually works for me. Like when people are like, well, if you want to, I'm like, yeah, I got some other stuff I got to focus on first. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I really got to get this done. Locked and Lovely wants some Magic and Mediums. Enchanted Map for Denise. I could use this instead of squinting so much, right? Jeez, let's see. Magic and Mediums for Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Nicola. It's been a while since you've been here, or maybe you've just been a voyeur. Lotus Siren wants Magic and Mediums. Hey. Hi, hey. You haven't been here in a while. How are you? Welcome to the meetup. Hi, Katrina. Okay. Trust Your Vibes. Okay. All right, shall we? Oh, here, I'm going to use my shirt. Silly me. All right, what does Creative Chicks need for today? Do you have like a throat issue, Creative Chicks? I know you can't answer this, but maybe you can message later or whatever and remind me what the hell I asked you. because I won't remember. I just felt like tight in my throat. All right. Ooh. Dance in the Fire. You can't see this until you watch it back. You're going to go to time 140, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Dance in the Fire. And it's number 34. Maybe you can make a mental note of that. That way you know where to find it and look at the card. Okay, your intuitive perceptions are accurate. Even if others challenge you or try to convince you otherwise, do not be deterred by outside influences. No matter how persuasive, for it will be a mistake. It may feel reckless or even crazy to trust your guidance, but this is precisely what you need to do. It will leave you feeling unstoppable. Your inner light is expanding, and and your spirit is ready to take. Maybe that's the sign. And your spirit is ready to take a lead. Trust your inner guidance and commit to what you believe in. Move forward with total confidence, no matter what anyone says, what anyone around you says. Dance in the face of fire Dance in the face and fire of others' judgment and disapproval, for you will encounter plenty of it. Don't let it cause you to doubt yourself. You are being tested by the universe. I don't think the universe really tests you. I got to be honest with that. I know I always have commentary on these ones, but any pushback is an opportunity to exercise your strength and personal authority. You are finished following and are ready to take the lead. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of sayings out there, and whatever, our beliefs create our reality. So if you want to believe it tests you, it does. But I don't think it's about testing. I think it's about like your belief systems make shit show up. And if it keeps showing up and you don't like it, look into your belief systems. Oh, Regine, you want this one too. All right. So for this next reading, this is for Regine. What does Regine need to know about this week? What does Regine need to know about this week? What does Regine need to know about this week? My guides talk to me sometimes too about me. This is why I started giggling. Embrace the adventure. Don't worry, I'm not laughing at you. Embrace the adventure. Oh, I like that one. That's fun. Just like the picture stuff. And that is number 23. Life is unpredictable right now. It may even feel a little unsafe. There is no danger. There's only the unknown. Meet the immediate conditions with a sense of adventure and enthusiasm, and embrace the unknown with confidence and positivity. Many new and unexpected doors of opportunity are about to open. To fully benefit from these blessings, be spontaneous and let go of control. Lean into the unfolding adventure. Life is about to get very exciting. Dive in. You like my little wiggle? Okay. Misty wants Enchanted Map. Lady, I love that for you. You're very welcome. Oh, you missed a few minutes since the time change. Sorry. This actually works out better for me. So like what happens is if I plan something late in the afternoon, then I don't know. It just works out better for me time-wise. Okay, Enchanted Map. This is for Misty. Slow and steady. I kind of like that she's, let me see. God dang it. Turn it that way so you can kind of see it a little better. All right. All right. Remember the old cliche. Oh, it says slow and steady wins the race. Remember the old cliche, slow and steady wins the race. This is a time for easy movement, unhurried steps, and a steady heart. Trust that taking life at a more leisurely pace will give you greater access to your dreams. Slowing down allows more contact with the juicier elements of your life. Savor that. You're going to have lots of movement, though, I think, this year. So just enjoy the process. All right. Locked and Lovely wants magic and mediums. What's this deck? Yikes. Sorry. I just want to say this. I was like, kind of like, oh, does she need this week? And I saw 2 babies. So I don't think that you're going to have a twin pregnancy. Like, I don't think this one has split, but I felt another, like a little boy. So I feel like after this, you might have another and then have a little boy. Like, you'll feel more confident about going with a boy. If that makes sense. And if anybody's like, what does that mean? Don't worry about it. She's had a journey. That's all I'm telling her. I don't think any of you would ask that, but I'm just saying it. Okay. Does anybody else do the alphabet in their head when they're like really quickly, like from a certain part when you're like, where's this in the alphabet? Is that just a me thing? Sorry. Revealing my quirks. So this one is intuition. I think I've done this one for somebody before. It came out before for someone. The ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. At the beginning of your journey, you may have looked to others to guide you into making life decisions. The others may have been parents, teachers, mentors, and spiritual figures, or even beloved pets. There are a plethora of people who base their relationship decisions off of their pet's behavior in response to someone and trust the opinions of animals over that of people. Let me tell you, it's true. Trust your animals. I've seen it in many cases. That is because they believe that the animals have a sixth sense that strengthens their discernment. As cats and dogs largely communicate telepathically and naturally have a different level of sensitivity than humans, it makes sense that they would be able to know the intentions surrounding anyone that enters your life before you can, especially if you rely on just the 5 physical senses. When you use your intuition, though, you will have the same power of discernment and will know who you should trust and where you should go without having to blindly follow anyone else. Follow your intuition. To do this, you must first be able to distinguish what messages are intuitive versus imaginative. Daily meditation, in addition to emotional intelligence exercises, will aid you in being able to decipher the difference between the two. Let me just stop you there. No need for daily meditation. Just start paying attention. Your intuition is subtle. Your imaginative thoughts aren't so much. If it's subtle, if it's quiet, if it's quick, if you think, oh my God, I better write it down because this will disappear, that's your intuition. It comes from nowhere. It makes no sense. Your imagination makes sense. If it's anxious, if it's persistent, if it feels pressure or fear or heaviness around it, that is not your intuition. That's your imagination. Okay, hope that helps. Intuitive messages are believed to coincide with the physical heart and the gut. So if you expect to feel sensations within these centers as the means of communication between you and your intuition, you may feel sick to your stomach or feel your heartstrings being pulled when your intuition is speaking up to you. That's not you. That's this person sharing their experience that it might come up that way for you, but it doesn't have to. Just saying. As imaginative messages are believed to coincide with the mind, you can expect to hear mental chatter and obsessive negative thoughts as what is known as monkey mind. I agree with that. These imaginative thoughts will distract you or tempt you into not following your intuition and usually reflect your fears. Agreed. Anxiety. As you gain more knowledge of yourself, you will begin to know how best to receive intuitive messages. They can be received from any of your clairsenses as a knowing, vision, sound, smell, or even be literal. 80% of things that come through intuitively are symbolic that's just kind of the average that I was given when I went through all my stuff. The proliferation of feathers, coins, specific symbols, animals, or words can be interpreted by your intuition as signs. You get to decide what those signs mean. So feathers mean absolutely nothing to me when I do a reading, but other people are like, it's a family member, it's a loved one, the angels are with you, like whatever. They mean nothing to me. They are not a symbol for me at all, except for unless maybe it's a literal bird. So like you get to decide what it means for you, what it holds. Once you become aware of the specific language of your intuition, you can bravely follow it. Following your intuition can be scary because it doesn't always lead you down a logical pathway nor give you a full sense of control, but it does allow you to experience trust. Following your intuition is like literally never scary. It's just not. So a couple instances like in cars where a friend of mine, we were driving back from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We were driving she lived in Madison, and then I was going to catch a bus from Madison to Milwaukee. And, which is weird. Like, I don't know, whatever. There's a long story. My parents like to be non-parents. So I sort of always had to figure everything out on my own at every stage. Like, how are you going to, whatever. And now as a parent, I'm like, why wouldn't you just drive to Madison? It's like a 45-minute drive. And like, by the time you do the downtown trip from where we live, like it's the same anyway. Okay. So, but I digress. I heard you're going to go under that underpass of the bridge and the car is going to spin out. So I was like, okay, or it's going to lose control. I was like, okay, like totally calm, did not freak me out. Was so like matter of fact, chill. Even as we're spinning in the car, super calm, very matter of fact, super chill. That's how your intuition is. It just, there's nothing. It's just very matter of fact. You don't feel fear following it. So if you're intuitively like, I should be doing this, like you just do it. I don't know. Maybe that's just my experience. But if you want to go with the scary way, go for it. Keywords: upright is like gut feeling, independence, claircognizance, familiar, witch, guidance, familiar meaning as in like animal, witch, guidance, the road less traveled, trust, following blindly, spirit guidance, friendship, purpose, teacher, divine, feminine. I don't know why all these keywords matter in here. That's that. Okay. So girl, lady, Miss Ma'am, trust your guidance. Okay. Fabulous. You do feel like your intuition has been growing, and I've noticed more lately. When I was pregnant, always got some weird big, I called it a growth spurt. Like I always got some new ability. I don't remember what they were now. Hopefully I have like a journal somewhere that kind of tells it, but like there was always something new that got opened up with pregnancy. And I think it's just that connection of the two souls. So it's something worth thinking about. Denise wanted an enchanted map. I always like when I was pregnant, I always knew I could talk to my kids before they were born, which was fun, and their personalities. And when they were here, I would put them down for naps, and I would always get like 15 minutes before they woke up, I'd always get a very clear image of their face in my head. And then I learned, I was like, oh, that means in 15 minutes they're going to wake up. So it was like this like little alarm clock for me to let me know that I had 15 minutes to get anything done without any baby's awake. Okay. All right. So this one is for Denise. What does Denise need to know this week? And if you guys don't like the interjections of my thoughts on what I'm reading, I want to just say too bad about that. Because I feel like if I'm putting myself out there, I should also share my wisdom and like why I think things like, I think it's just for you to have an idea. Because I see people are like, oh my God, like just develop belief systems that don't necessarily need to be held around things. I don't know. Make your life. I am all about like doing things the easiest way possible, not overcomplicating anything, especially spirituality and intuition and manifesting. Okay, CB, I'll get you Green Witch. Oh, you got skipped? I didn't see yours. Oh. Oh, I heard. Okay, I'll do yours right after this one, okay? I didn't see yours. I don't know why. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, I'm glad nobody else. I'm like, after Regine. I don't. Now I'm like, did I miss it? No, on mine it has Regine, then Misty, then Locked and Lovely. Like yours isn't there at all. All I have to say is that gives air high five. But totally, I'll put you in here. Just not there. It's weird. Okay, Denise. What does Denise need to know this week? Okay. You're getting 2 cards because they were like, take the top one, and then the second one also came with it. So bonus for you. Nobody get mad or offended. I have no control over this. I mean, I could, whatever, but still, I'm doing it this way because I want to. God dang it. 6 mountain, and then 27 is home. So those are what you're getting, mountain and home. Maybe you're getting a mountain home. All right, mountain first. 6, you have the capacity to flow around any obstacles. This is the time to adapt. Both of these were upright. Sometimes you'll come across what appears to be an insurmountable obstacle, like a huge mountain that separates you from your success. You might think that climbing it and chiseling away at it is the answer, but why take such a treacherous, tedious approach? Be like the rivers that flow around the mountain naturally. You'll move past the obstacles relatively quickly if you choose the easy way around. This is the time to adapt to your circumstances. If you do decide to climb, remember to take one step at a time, opting for the next right action. Oh, baby. "27, home. You are comfortable in your own skin. You belong. Peace, security, safety, belonging, and all of the features one would want from home are indicated now. The home card represents an invitation to experience what it's like to be secure in your own skin, to live comfortably no matter what is happening in the world around you. It is a time for opening your eyes to your tribe of like-minded people, or one special person who makes you feel like you've come home. Home is love, and love is all around you now. Whatever your inquiry, you are where you are meant to be and will reap great benefits by staying on this path, regardless of where it leads. Home will always be with you. It is where the heart is." All right, CB, we'll do yours for Green Witch. You need a beach home. I think if I had a second home, I would want it to be a beach home. I agree. I'm sort of one of those people that I have a lot of water in my chart. So I'm like a late Cancer sun, Pisces moon. Like I have a lot of water in my chart. And I feel more comfortable with if I'm within like an hour drive of water. I don't know why I can feel it. Like when I've gone to Arizona and people talk about like the vortexes and Sedona and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like almost like I'm suffocating in landlocked areas. But it's not that even when, I like big bodies of water, like the Great Lakes, things like that. You live on a lake, but I'd rather a beach. Yeah, I get that. I like the ocean. Okay, this is for Cindy. What does Cindy need to know today? Chamomile, gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. Card meaning. With its gentle energy and flavor, chamomile suggests that perhaps you need to slow down a bit. There's something in your life that is draining you and wearing you down, a relationship, a situation. Sorry. And the chamomile card quietly, I'm not laughing at you, but I'm, the universe is funny. The chamomile card quietly reminds you that if you're in a state of exhaustion, you won't be able to do the work that will be required in the future, either at all or to the extent you'll need to. Chamomile invites you to take a pause, step away from your work, whatever kind it may be, and give your mind and body and spirit time to find balance and equilibrium. The reflection question is, have you struggled to give yourself permission to rest recently? You're overstimulated over here. You need sleep, and you'll get it this weekend. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to giggle. I'm not laughing at you. But I'm laughing. Okay. Let's see. Nicola wants magic. And so does Lotus. Let me check that. And trust your vibes. Those up here. You'll be child-free. Yay! We love our children. Just like we love our children. Oh, that's right. Okay. So this is for Nicola, and then Lotus, and then we'll do Hey, and Katrina. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Nicola, what does Nicola need to know today? Sorry. It feels so clunky. Why are we clunky? There you go. Just got to talk to the cards a little, I guess. That was weird and cool. Okay. Banish. Lady. Looks like some things are leaving your life. All right. Officially send someone away. Before a magician invites any energies into her life, she must know how to release or banish them in order to have power in her own life. She must know how to say yes, but more importantly, how to say no. Being able to banish truly troublesome energies like dark entities, curses, and psychic vampires. I'll give you thoughts in a minute. It's just as important as being able to ban distractions, fears, stress, negativity, and excess of energy, and even others' energies from ruining the order and peace within your own life. The shutting out of whatever doesn't belong in your life at a specific time can be achieved via a variety of methods that make you inaccessible and untouchable to whatever you are not inviting into your space. And they're so powerful that you don't need to fully believe in them for them to be effective. Performing gestures like the sign of the cross and drawing the Kabbalistic cross are popular methods that have been used for ages to expel. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, a ceremonial ritual technique combining gestures with incantations originating from the Golden Dawn, have been used for ages by occultists to ban energy before the performing of any magic or meditative work. Reciting ancient lines or protection like the Lord's Prayer, or simply placing items like herbs and oddities that are known for their banishing powers around your space will aid in banishing as well. You can make a witch bottle to banish negativity. To do this, you need the following items: a glass bottle with a cork, white sage, garlic, salt, black pepper, skullcap, bay leaf, star anise, rosemary, a black spell candle, black tourmaline, 4 black tumbled stones, Hecata, and fiery wall of protection oils. Listen, I'm going to stop us right there because that is just so much work. And we're going to go simple. Just keep it simple, sweetie. Eat 2 easy things you can do. One technique is get a bowl of salt water, stick it in the center of the room, leave it there for 24 hours. You can say you can like literally, it's just easy. Like, okay, anything negative that's no longer serving me, that energy needs to flow to this bowl. Then you're going to go and you're going to, after 24 hours, you're going to throw it in the toilet and flush it away. You're done. Number 2, why do I say keep it simple? Because you're not going to necessarily have all those herbs if you're at a hotel or you're just like, like in the middle of the night, you're just like feeling like I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm going to just like whatever, do my little woo-woo magic, just kind of help ease my nervous system that I've physically done something, because sometimes our wacky brains need us to do something to help us feel safe. And then we feel good and we can go to bed. So that's one way. The other way is you could just have black tourmaline or selenite. They're super cheap, by the way, so they're easy to get a hold of if you don't have a lot of money. And you could grid the room with it, for one in each corner. Done. Simple. You can, if you don't have sage, if you don't have anything, you can sit quietly in the middle of your room and you can envision a bright white light coming out from you, around you, in all different, like all directions. Think of it as like the brightest lights on somebody's headlights that they drive with. And they're not bright lights, but they're so bright now that they just kill you. Those bright lights, and just fill your room with that white light and sit in that for a minute or two, and you're good. And you can say the same thing of like, all negative energy that is no longer serving me is not welcome in this room. Only positive love and light is welcome, blah, blah, blah. Super simple. That's all you have to do. And why do I say that works? Because I've done stuff where I've done meditations and visualized that. And then somebody else is like, yeah, my meditation, I saw this really bright white. I'm like, yeah, that was me. That was me. I did that. I believe in being easy. I mean, not that easy, but easy. Kidding. Don't get your panties in a bunch. All right. So Lotus, Magic and Mediums is yours. I just think we overcomplicate stuff. And if it can be easier, then somebody's like, I know that they're doing that to sell the book, to make it like look all fluffy and duffy. And I totally get that. So, but I also believe in not being so whatever. All right, Lotus. Here you go. Oh, wait, this is. Oh, yeah, you wanted the same thing. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. All right. Release. Release. Okay, allow something, in parentheses, to move, act, or flow freely. Certain events in life are so traumatic that the only way the survivor can seem to continue on through life is by repressing them. Yes. The suppression of these memories. I'm telling you, it works. Your brain is wonderful in protecting you. The suppression of these memories does not heal them nor erase them. That is true. In fact, repressed memories subconsciously impact your everyday beliefs and attitudes. They can even impact your physical health. The emotional freedom technique, known as EFT tapping, is founded on the awareness of the holistic relationship between your emotional body and your overall health, in particular, your limbic system. That should have been a comma, not as a whatever. Sorry, I read that wrong. Your limbic system, period. Its practitioner states that if you have a negative emotion related to any event, you have not fully processed the event, and that I think they just actually added to, sorry. And that inaction can lead to an energetic blockage, causing any type of negativity, from physical sickness, low self-esteem, obsession, etc. This perspective is inherent in Chinese medicine that links specific organ ailments with a certain emotion. For example, sadness coincides with the lungs and has a causal relationship with the following lung-related issues: sore throat, runny nose, dry nose, fatigue, catching colds, fever with chills, chest depression, and cough. Liver apparently is where anger is stored. Just noting that one. Western EFT tappers believe that the imbalance of sadness and or emotion can be resolved by melding Chinese philosophy with Western style affirmations. By tapping on various meridian points, such spots on your body coincide with where Eastern medicine has detailed vital energy or ki as flowing, or chi, but spelled QI. While stating specific affirmations, blockages within your energetic body are released. This allows for vital energy to flow appropriately, resulting in the termination of minor or chronic issues, from a slight neck cramp to heavy addictions, disease, and limiting beliefs. Clear emotional blockages by tapping. To do this, I'm going to go through this one because I think tapping is great. To do this, begin with, because it's free and because you don't need anything but your hands to do it. So here we go. To do this, begin with picking one thing you would like to release in your life. This can be anything from ending a food addiction, anger with someone, your negative relationship with money, to your unwillingness to forgive. It can also just be about anxiety in the moment or nervousness about beginning something new. Then insert your issue in the following tapping template to be performed seated in a quiet and comfortable place where you can freely express your emotions, cry, laugh, scream, etc. Throughout the process, you may feel uncomfortable, want to quit, or even deem the whole process ridiculous. But it's important that you continue, as those feelings and thoughts are a natural fight or flight initial reaction to the internal energetic shifts and release that is occurring. In this example, we will release sadness. It's detailed tapping template. While gently tapping your left hand's index and middle fingers at a 4/4 timing signature. Oh my God. This is really long and I probably would lose it. I can't do a screenshot of it, but can I hold it up and leave you time to, like, you can pause it and read it maybe? Does that work? Let me move my hand down there. Forgive my fingernails. So you're going to take time to pause it and read it if you want. Okay, that's page 1, just because I don't want to read through all of this because it's a lot. And this is page 2. You can also find some great EFT tapper people online. So here's the second part of that. Okay, so you can pause it and read it. Let me see if I can get closer and bigger for you. Sorry. So you can pause it and read it. Okay, sorry. Okay. Great. That'll save me some reading, and then you don't have to like listen to me. You can just have it for yourself. Sound great? Excellent. Okay, wait. Creative Chick said, hey, you are correct about my throat. I've been having a recurring cough due to respiratory virus, and I'm getting over. Thank you for my reading, and you were spot on about being fiery. I don't remember. See, this is what happens. What did I say? My friends think I'm losing my mind because I'm starting to study tarot and astrology. I watch a lot of psychics on YouTube TV and learn and grow into a new. Yes. Listen, I'm telling you, when I started doing this stuff, like, so I grew up basically in the Bible Belt, right? So like in Texas and Wisconsin. And I literally got a lot of, I'm praying for your soul. Are you crazy? I had a conversation with my best friend from high school who goes to church and still is very heavily involved in her church. Like one of those big, has crazy productions kind of church. And she was like, and I was like, she was really depressed. And I was like, and I was like doing really well. I was like, listen, I have a lot of faith, even if it's not in Christianity, and I have more faith than you do, and you're going to church all the time. So like, let's not. And she was kind of like, can't argue with that. So I don't know where she's at now. I mean, we're friendly. I get Christmas cards and stuff like that, but I don't get to talk to her a lot. It's just busy lives. But like, your journey is not their journey. And if you want to throw the Bible back at them, like, not everybody was given like the guidance to go walk in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but this is where I feel guided and called. Put it on their plate. Also, the wise men were astrologers, so put that on their plate. You bought cards and hopefully you'll use them. I mean, sometimes you buy cards and or I've picked up books or things and I don't, for whatever reason, I'm called to buy them and purchase them. I'm not called to like delve into them until like months or even years later. And I'm like, oh, let me look at this. And I'm like, oh my God. So Okay, Hey wants enchanted map. You're welcome, Gabby. Keep me updated on the baby. Enjoy your week. Okay, so this is for Hey. What does Hey need to know this week? What does Hey need to know this week? Intention. Shoot. This card is so shiny. Sorry. And it's number 22. That is a master number. Okay. Deliberate, clear intentions have the power to change your world. Upright. Your objectives will be fulfilled at this time. Inspired intentions are like magic arrows shot into the sky. The universe is bringing you a gift, showing you that you're hitting your mark. You know what? You're going to kill me. Yours actually did come up not upright. It came up reversed. And I was like, oh, I'll just turn it around. I really feel like it's supposed to be reversed on this one. So I'm going to read that one. So just go with this because I'm trusting that more. Are you clear about your intentions, or are you in a foggy state of denial about your true motives and or ambitions? This is the time to step back and gain perspective and clarity about your direction. Check your motives and ask if they are sincere. Are you pursuing some goal blindly without asking its cost? Good intentions are being misinterpreted. Now is a time for self-evaluation and self-nurturing. You will benefit greatly if you take the time out to regroup. I actually think it's not so much about like, do you have good intentions? More so is it like, are you thinking big enough? Like, why are you limiting yourself? I'm looking for the lid for this. It's sort of that. That's what I'm getting. Is like really like stop limiting yourself with whatever you're intending. It's like, are you following through with something because it's what society tells you to do, or it's what my whole family would want me to do, and it would make sense if I did something else, that kind of thing. Where do I get my tarot and oracle cards? If I don't, I've got them all over the place, and they're over the years. So different little witchy shops I've gone into, different bookstores, online, on TikTok. Like it just depends. It's like, oh, those, like I do it intuitively. Like I feel like I want to get a new deck. Let me just like pop into the store or whatever. But it's like literally all different places. So it's not one place. You got your tarot deck the first time 2 weeks ago. Have fun with it. I don't read formally. I'm like, oh, I think I'll do a 3-card spread, or let me just see what this says. Now I'm trying to dig in on the I like doing it for you guys, but for myself, I'm trying to really dig in on manifesting. But when I ask the questions, it's really interesting because I'm always like, well, these are good answers. Okay, last but not least, Miss Katrina, we are here for you. Thank you for your patience. What does Katrina need to know today? Good vibrations. Reminds me of the 3 of Cups tarot card. If anybody. Wait, that's number 44. Another master number. Pay close attention to what you are listening to. This activates the intuitive skill of clairaudience, the ability to tune into the subtle energies in life, including your higher self, angels, and guides. With this intuitive awakening, however, comes more responsibility. Be selective in what you listen to. That doesn't matter. Exposure to dissonant, negative, toxic vibrations and people will drain and agitate you. This type of energy overwhelms the nervous system, putting you at risk for becoming sick and depressed. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to have to rewrite this. Hold on. To protect your spirit, surround yourself with the most harmonious sounds. Okay. I'm stopping that. Look, you do get stuff intuitively through clairaudience. It can be like a song will go through your head. If beliefs create our reality, if you believe that you need to protect yourself, if you believe you can't listen to certain music, then guess what? You can't. I will tell you, yeah, like don't engage in people shit talking other people if it puts you in a bad mood. If being around certain people and certain behaviors that they have, conversations that they like to carry on, or they're just drone on about misery, like then exit stage left. Like it doesn't have to be all, I feel like when people are like, protect yourself, it's like, oh my God, it's scary. I have no control and no power. And that's all bullshit anyway. So, I think just be wise about if you don't feel comfortable somewhere, walk out. But like the idea of like, don't listen to negative energy, like whatever. Or you can decide that like, it doesn't matter what I listen to. It doesn't change my energy. It doesn't change my state. I still have a good time listening to like sad, depressed music. I'm still a happy person. It doesn't really matter. Well, I don't know. That's just me. Because I also think it's way more empowering to think that way than to think that you have to walk around protecting yourself all the time. It's like, oh my God, the big boogeyman's going to get me. Like, okay, have fun with that one. All right. So I will see y'all next week. Happy New Year. That's it. I hope that you all set some good intentions for releasing and embracing for the new year. Although my friend who's an astrologer would argue that this isn't the new year. It's closer to when the Chinese New Year is or the spring solstice. So, do whatever you want. See y'all next Sunday.